Three, two, one, T-minus 5 minutes and counting. We have a go for the orbiter APU start. Pilot Blaha is now flipping the 3 switches in the cockpit to start each of the 3 APUs. APU activation is complete. Commander Fred Gregory has been asked to reconfigure the orbiter heaters for launch. He reports that those heaters are reconfigured. T-minus 4 minutes, 27 seconds and counting. The solid rocket booster and external tank safe and arm devices had been armed. Liquid oxygen replenishing of the external tank now has been terminated. A report now that the APU start is complete. Coming up now on T-minus 4 minutes. The main engine final purge sequence is underway. The main engine valves are being checked. The orbiter flight control surfaces, such as the elevon, speed brakes, and rudder, are now being moved through a pre-programmed pattern to verify that they are ready for launch. T-minus 3 minutes, 45 seconds and counting. All systems on board the Space Shuttle are reported go. Coming up now on T-minus 3 minutes, 30 seconds and counting. All 3 of Discovery's main engines are now being gimbaled, which is a steering check to verify the readiness for flight control. When this check is complete, they'll be aligned to their main engine start positions. Coming up now on the 3-minute mark in the count, T-minus 3:10 and counting. T-minus 3 minutes. T-minus 2:55, the pressurization of the liquid oxygen tank will begin, and the gaseous nitrogen of the main engines will be terminated. Ground launch sequencer has started a retract of the gaseous oxygen fin hood, which is the beanie cap on the external tank. The computers will make a final check to ensure that the fin arm is fully retracted at the T-minus 37-second point. Ground supply of hydrogen and oxygen for the orbiter fuel cells has now been turned off. Discovery is running on its onboard reactants. The orbiter test conductor will shortly be asking John Blaha to clear the caution and warning system. The crew now has been told to close their visors on their launch and reentry helmets and to start the oxygen supply to their pressure suits. We are go now for liquid hydrogen pressurization. Replenishing of the external tank is stopped. The tank being pressurized to flight level. The Space Shuttle is now isolated from all ground propellant and fluid loading equipment. T-minus 90 seconds. We're less than a minute and a half away from the launch of STS-33 and the Space Shuttle Discovery with its 5 astronaut crew. At T-minus 1 minute, the ground launch sequencer will verify that the shuttle main engines are ready to start. The liquid hydrogen tank is now at flight pressure. T-minus 1 minute, 10 seconds. T-minus 1 minute. The sound suppression water system is now armed. The water will be released at T-minus 16 seconds at a flow rate of 900,000 gallons per minute. The heaters around the solid rocket booster joints have now been turned off. The hydrogen burn igniters have now been armed. The igniters will be fired at T-minus 10 seconds to burn off any ambient hydrogen under the main engine nozzles. Solid rocket booster flight instrumentation recorders have now gone into the record mode. The main propulsion system, oxygen and hydrogen fill valves have now been closed. T-minus 27 seconds. We have a go for auto sequence start. T-minus 23 seconds and counting. The orbiter's body flap and speed brake have been positioned for the launch. T-minus 15 seconds and counting. The sound suppression water system has started. The launch igniters and pyrotechnics are armed. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. Liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery for its Thanksgiving Day mission.
Roll program initiated. Guidance officer confirms a good roll maneuver. Three engines throttling back now to 65% as Discovery passes through the area of maximum dynamic pressure. Velocity now 2,000 feet per second. APUs all looking good. Velocity now 2,300 feet per second. All three engines have now throttled back up to 104%. The crews received the go at throttle up call, meaning all systems are performing normally. Discovery now at velocity of 4,000 feet per second. Three engines running at 104%. All three APUs looking good. Downrange distance 14 nautical miles. Separation of the solid rocket boosters has been confirmed by the booster officer. Velocity now 5,000 feet per second. Discovery 40 nautical miles downrange. Flight Dynamics Officer has confirmed nominal performance from the combination of the engines and the solid rocket boosters. This call means that we have gotten the expected thrust for the vehicle out of the booster system. Discovery now at 5,200 feet per second velocity, altitude of 45 nautical miles and 70 nautical miles downrange. Discovery now has the capability to reach the transatlantic abort site should one engine fail. Three engines still looking good. APUs all performing well. Velocity now 6,000 feet per second. Downrange 90 nautical miles. Discovery now moving at a velocity of 7,500 feet per second, downrange 145 nautical miles at an altitude of 54 nautical miles. All engines looking good, and Discovery has received the negative return call, meaning that it is no longer possible for Discovery to return to the launch site.